Welcome to the 2021 Street Parking Vault. The Street Parking Vault is a one workout a week for 25-week series with the goal to help street parking members build consistency.
This, however, is the beginning of round 2. If you have done this before, this is your opportunity to retest the workouts or try a different version.
Customize these movements and choose a version that fits your ability. Your scores and weights don't matter. The goal is to maintain consistency from week to week. You just can't miss.
If this is your first time doing this workout, click on the link below, which will take you to the original version that breaks down all of the customizations, tips, as well as all the different versions of the workout.
All right, it is time again for Vault Triton. And I remember after round 1 of this workout, Coach Jeb was legitimately angry at me. This workout is very long for only 2 movements, and it can feel like some sort of like Groundhog Day that you can't get out of. But this is another workout where you have a perfect blueprint for how to improve if you have your score from last time. All you need to do is figure out how many of those push-up Renegade rows or push-up lateral drags you were getting each of the 2-minute rounds last time and try to add 1 or 2 more. So figure out the average and try to add 1 or 2 more, and you will for sure get a higher score this time. So if you were getting 8 push-up Renegade rows for each of those 10 rounds last time, and you do 9 this time, congratulations, you just got yourself a 10 rep PR. That'll work even if you can only hold it for the first half of the workout or so, and then you drop back down for the second half. So look at your score from before and challenge yourself to try for 1 more or 2 more reps each round. Now guys, keep in mind that the dumbbell version and the sandbag version are the main versions of this workout, but there is a program B with the barbell. So if you just can't put yourself back in that same Groundhog Day situation that you were in before, that's a different and fun option. Just make sure you check it out because it is structured a little bit different. Also, if you're going from the sandbag to the dumbbells because you want to try a different version this time, keep in mind that your score will probably be a little bit lower because the dumbbell version just takes longer for each rep. And then same if you go from the dumbbells to the sandbag, expect to get a little higher score. All right, and for this shift crew, if you're not quite ready to do all of program A yet and you want to take on shift but make it a little bit more challenging, there's several ways that you can do that. The first place is to challenge yourself to do a more difficult version of the push-up tap-tap. So if you did elevated push-up tap-taps last time, see how far you can get doing those from your knees on the ground. Or if you did them from your knees on the ground last time, see if you can get even just a few reps of each set from your toes. So that would be the first place that I would go. The other option is to, instead of doing one side of all the bent over rows and then the other side, to combine them together and do 20 total alternating single arm bent over rows. So you'll do 1 on the right, 1 on the left, and do 20 total or 10 on each side.
What's up, you guys? It is time for Triton again. Last time I did the dumbbells, I did the jump rope, I did the push up with the Renegade row. It was traumatic, so I'm wrapping my thumbs up, but also I'm switching versions this time. I'm gonna do the sandbag version, and I'm actually just for fun going to go hopovers. And my reasoning is I wanted to try something a little bit different, and I felt like the first time through, I got really fatigued, and so it became like I had to break up the Renegade rows a lot, and you're supposed to do that, so don't feel like you're doing it wrong if you do. But I just wanted a little different stimulus this time, so something that I can keep moving more. So I'm going with the sandbag. The idea is I'll probably get a fair amount more reps with the sandbag. I do think that the hopovers, for me personally, are gonna be more fatiguing, more physically difficult than the double unders, just because I'm having to jump a little bit higher and a little bit further laterally for those. So I'm expecting this to be equally as brutal as the dumbbell version, but a lot less frustrating for me. So that's what that is. I think we should get this thing started.
All right, Jeb looks like he is ready. Starting the clock here.
He is just ready to take on Triton,
He looks it, doesn't he?
doesn't he?
He's looking
Those pants.
Those pants, though. He's looking svelte and ready for all of the jumping.
He's
asked
so
him earlier-
aerodynamic.
So aerodynamic. Those are his jumping pants, he
Oh.
said, specifically for the jumping.
Jeb has a lot of pants.
He has a lot of pants. They're all kind of in the same category, though, aren't they?
They sure are. They sure are. All right, Nicole. So,
Buttons?
Triton.
Yes.
Lots of jumping, pressing, and pulling.
All of that is correct.
So, like he said, he is going with Program C this time, the sandbag. What's different about this one, Nicole, from Program A?
Well, in Program C, you're using a sandbag. In Program A, you're using dumbbells. But
Well-
even more so, in Program A, you're going to be doing this push-up Renegade row. So instead of pulling something across your body, you're pulling it like upwards.
With both arms
With-
for 1 rep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So with the sandbag, you do a push-up, here comes a sandbag, that's 1 rep. Push-up, here comes a sandbag, that's rep number 2. With the dumbbell, it's push-up, row left, row right, that's 1 rep. So there's a big difference in the amount of time it takes you to do 1 rep.
Absolutely, and that's part of why you can expect to get more reps if you go with Program C versus Program A, simply because 1 rep takes a little bit less time. You're only having to pull the weight with one side versus both. So he's only a minute and a half into the first round. You can
He
see
just took
he's
a big
taking
breath, huh? He's like,
Yes. And that's because, guys, it's really important with a workout like this, where you're pretty much working for 20 solid minutes, that you do not peacock that first round.
Oh,
So
okay.
break up
Got
from
it.
the beginning.
Got it?
Don't go balls to the wall
Oh.
right from the start.
To the window, to the wall.
To the window, to the wall.
Don't go balls to the wall,
And
or
he's-
you might fall.
or that, yes.
Okay.
He stopped with about 10 seconds left in the 2 minutes, giving himself a chance to reset, write his score down, take a breath before he hops back into the next round.
I see what you did there, Alex. Okay, can we just talk about, it says at 24, or that might be his tag sign. That looks like a 2-4J, perhaps. On the score of what he got in his first round. I'm going to write down 24.
I think 20.
subject
I think
to
we can
change.
deduce that.
Well, honestly, though, if you look, though, that could be an 8.
Ooh.
Right? So it could be 24 or a 28. You can't quite tell because he got really fancy with writing it down.
Yeah, I think that hard edge at the top, though, I think that's a 4.
That's 4?
We'll go
Okay,
with
we'll
it.
go with the 4.
We'll see what
it
he
could
says.
change to an 8. We'll find out later.
There
There it
it
is, 24. We
is,
have confirmation
24.
from Jebifer that it is 24 reps on round number 1.
Yes. All right, guys, so let's talk about the jumping portion of this workout.
Let's talk about that. First, get your jumping pants.
Yes. Step 1, jumping pants.
Check.
Step 2, choose a variation that will allow for you to get those 30 reps done in 45 seconds or less. So while 30 reps at a time may not seem like much for double unders, and it's a good opportunity to practice, we definitely don't want you guys getting frustrated, because already when you're working for 20 minutes only doing 2 movements,
Yeah.
that is already can be really mentally frustrating, because there's
Horrible.
no escape.
I think the word
There's-
you're looking for is
yeah,
horrible.
there's
Okay,
no
got
escape
it.
from that. So really, we don't want you getting super frustrated with the double unders. So if you know you're going to be tripping up a lot, if you trip up more than, let's say, twice getting to those 30 reps,
Yeah.
I think going with the hop over option is a great way to go.
Yeah.
It's as, if not more cardiovascularly intensive
Yeah.
as a double under, because it's a bigger jump, because it's a lateral jump. So you're not losing anything.
No.
You know, it's still a really great, really excellent way to keep the intensity high and remove some of that skill element, so that you're not getting frustrated tripping up over that rope.
Or the sandbag.
bag.
Everything's fine, Jeb. Everything's fine. So on the round 2, he got 20 reps, so 4 less reps than the first time. We're gonna see where he kind of levels out. The first time he did this, he was doing it with dumbbells, and I'm gonna tell you what he got each round for all 10 rounds.
Okay.
So in the first round, he got 13. In the next 3 rounds, he got 12. In the 3 rounds after that, he got 10, and then he got 9, 8, and 10. So it does seem like it's naturally you get less each round.
Yeah.
We'll see how close he can stay to those 20s as the time goes on, though.
Absolutely. And with any pressing movement, you can definitely expect some fatigue. It's not wrong necessarily. You do just, you want to ward it off as long as possible, basically. That's why we recommend breaking from the beginning, taking some rest in that 2 minutes as you're chipping away, so that you're not falling off the deep end, basically, and you're not, a 4 or 5 rep difference is a lot, but it's not terrible if you started off on the high end of the goal range,
Yeah. 10 reps is a different story.
Yeah, and guys, if you are starting with 10 reps and falling off to less than 8, then it's likely that you might not hit the goal. So that would be a good opportunity to kind of reassess what you're currently doing. If you're doing push-ups from the toes, let's say, maybe you drop to the knees and do your push-ups from there.
Yeah.
Or you grab a box and you do elevated push-ups. It would be tough to get the row in, but I was thinking, it would be a good option to switch over to the Program B rep scheme.
The Program B rep scheme is definitely different.
Yeah, where for 1 minute you do 15 double unders or hop overs, finish with max push-up taps.
Yeah.
And in the second minute you do 15 double unders, hop overs, max bent over rows.
Yeah.
But I was thinking if you needed to do an elevated push-up, you could use that rep scheme and then do no push-up Renegade rows in the second minute.
There you go.
That way
There you
you're
go.
getting both movements, but it's a little bit better structured for a customization like that.
Yeah. It's even more fitness freedom.
Fitness freedom, baby.
Fitness freedom, baby.
All right, so he was able to hold 20 reps in that third round. And for Program C, that means he's still high up there on the goal range because this one is 160 to 200. It's about double the amount that you're going to see in Program A. So let's talk a little bit about when to break during a push-up Renegade row, push-up pull across, push-up lateral
That's
drag.
a great question because I noticed that sometimes Jeb stays a little bit in the plank for like a beat or two. Is that okay?
Yeah, I do think so. Only for a beat or two. If you find you're really taking 2 or 3 breaths there, it's probably just best to drop to the knees, sit back into the heels, shake it out.
Yeah.
For me, I always like to leave 2 or 3 pressing reps left in the tank. So he might be pausing in the top of the plank more because of his breath than anything, and just making sure he's ready to brace his belly for the drag. But as soon as you start to feel that lockout slow down, and you're not really powerful off the floor in the press. I think for me, especially, when I start to feel that slow down, that's my cue to sit back, shake it out, give those triceps a break, and then get back to it.
Yeah, and then also remembering your form in general, the plank position. Like you were saying, if you're not having a strong press out, but also you might feel like it's a strong press out, but your hips are still sagging down to the floor up high in the air, right? So once that plank starts to fall apart, that's another thing to look out for.
Absolutely. One thing you may not expect just from the hops, it's not that many, but over time your quads may start to get a little bit fatigued having to jump from the floor and kind of clear that bag.
Yeah.
And you may not expect it, but holding that plank, your quads may be one of the first things to go.
Yeah, the plank gets really difficult for your legs, surprisingly.
It really does. And as soon as those start to relax, that's when you start to see the hips start to sag down. And that's definitely something we want to avoid as much as possible. Another thing you'll tend to see, especially with a row or a drag, is the hips start to pike up. And what's happening there is a lack of glute engagement, a lot of butt squeezing.
Yeah.
So that's another thing you guys want to be mindful of, making sure that you're keeping your hips squared to the floor as much as you can. Another tip, and you'll see as Jeb sets up, is to widen your feet. That just kind of creates a more stable base so that you don't have to rotate through the hips and shoulders quite as much as you would if you were to bring your feet closer together for just like a regular push-up.
Yeah. What would you say if someone had done shift before and they are thinking about dabbling into Program A or B or C even, but they're not ready 100% to take on the full A, B, or C? What's a good in-between road?
That's a good question. I know one thing that you can do just within that shift structure, within that 15-minute AMRAP, in case you didn't know that's what shift is, would be, so let's say the single unders or taps. Right there, you already have an option to make those a little bit more challenging by going with a hop over, right?
Yeah.
Because that lateral jump over an object is a little bit more challenging than just a jump in place. For the push-up taps, there's an opportunity there for a more challenging push-up variation. So if you did an elevated push-up last time around, this time maybe see if you can do them from your knees, or if you did some from your, or you did them from your knees last time, see if you can do, I don't know, 5 of the 10 each round from your toes.
Yeah.
So doesn't mean you're committing fully to a more challenging customization, but maybe, you bargain with yourself.
Yeah.
And just, squeeze out a couple of those reps each round. I think
Just
that's
squeeze
a
out a
huge
few.
win.
Just squeeze out a few.
And then another cool thing, so for shift, you have 10 single arm bent over rows on both arms. And one way to make that more challenging would be to do 20 alternating bent over rows where you actually still hold a dumbbell in each hand.
Okay.
You still row with one arm at a time, but you're having to maintain that bent over position on your own.
Right.
Versus in the original version, having that support from that free hand.
Yeah.
On a rig or a box or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit more taxing. So I think that's a great way, some great options for you guys who did shift the first time around but are looking to do something a little bit more challenging.
So here we are. We are in the 11th minute going, well, I guess 12th minute. We're creeping up on 12 minutes into this workout, and Jeb you heard him just now. He was like, oh man, he's really starting to feel the fatigue on these push-ups. I'm telling you guys, whenever you get like a push-up heavy workout, there is no doubt that there's gonna come a point where your body says, no, thank you. I am done with this. I don't know why you're still doing this. I don't want to do this. And it'll just start to stop doing that thing.
It's like just throws a tantrum.
Yes.
Like,
your body just
pity
like,
party.
I don't want to.
Yeah. Stop it.
Stop it. Why are we doing this? I don't know. For fitness, but
Yeah.
your body's mad about it.
It is. So right now, he's doing a great job. He did fall off a little bit, but he's still keeping those reps within the goal range because it's 10 rounds. That makes math kind of easy, at least, as far as I'm concerned, makes math kind of easy. But as long as we're keeping those reps at 16 or above, 20 or below, you're going to fall within that 160 to 200 rep goal range.
Yeah.
Another cool thing about this, guys, if this is your second time doing this, there's a really clear-cut way to determine if you are going to get more reps this time around. So what you can do is take your total reps from the first time, divide by 10.
Okay.
That's your average reps.
Oh my God.
And all you have to do from there is commit to completing that plus 1. And never falling beneath your average rounds.
Oh, so do the math first.
Yes.
Write
do
it
the
down
math
probably.
first.
If you're me,
Maybe
write it down.
Yeah.
Write it down.
But then you have some really clear-cut, tangible goals.
Yeah.
And that might keep you from peacocking in the beginning, right?
True.
If you know you only have to get a certain amount,
Yeah.
then you might pace it a little bit better knowing what you're trying to achieve.
Right.
Yeah.
So, can you tell me a little bit about Triton?
I can tell you a little bit about Triton. He is the god of the sea. He's actually son of Poseidon, who I had the pleasure of redoing
Oh my goodness.
not long ago.
Poseidon.
Woof.
Didn't like him either.
Nah, he was not my favorite. But yeah, so Triton is known for enormous power that could move whole lands and calm seas. So
Everything's fine.
Whoa.
Everything's fine.
Whoa.
Watch out for the land and seas over there. He's got his sea legs.
That's what it is, sea legs. Yeah, so actually like Poseidon, which was every 90 seconds for 21 minutes.
Yeah.
We like those kind of every so often for so long workouts for these sea gods because it's like waves, right? They come in waves.
They wash over you.
And it looks like Jeb is holding back, not letting those waves take him down just yet. He's really fighting him off right now.
He hasn't drowned yet.
He has not drowned yet.
Couple of sputters, but
He's
no
doing
drowning.
great. No worries, we have a few lifeguards around just in case.
More importantly, though, is Triton Ariel's dad from The Little Mermaid? Was
Oh my
that
God,
him?
Nicole.
Was it King Triton?
Sure. Yes.
No, seriously, was it not?
I
feel
really
like it
don't
was.
know. I feel like we need to fact check that
Did you not
one.
watch The Little
I
Mermaid?
did watch Little Mermaid, but I mean, the dad was the least of my concerns.
Oh, okay.
You know, I wasn't paying attention to.
I'm
to
gonna ask
that
our
old-
fact checker real quick.
Yeah,
Hey,
fact checker.
Ariel from Little Mermaid. What's her dad's name? King Triton.
There it is.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. Yeah, and you know, he can move whole lands. In a way, you're moving. It feels like you're maybe moving land when you're dragging that sandbag across your body.
For
you
sure.
know. Same with the bent over rows, picking those dumbbells up, putting them back down.
Enormous power needed for that.
Enormous power. Actually, you know what's funny?
What?
I was thinking about what you told me during demos a week or so ago. I was demonstrating push-up lateral drags with the sandbag, and you were like, you know, you really used to suck at those.
You did. Used to, but used to. You're so good at
Used
them
to,
now.
Yeah. Well, you know what happened? I was trying so hard not to rotate through my body at all.
Yeah.
And then I realized it's actually appropriate for that movement, and you'll watch next time Jeb starts his back up again. As you pull across, you want the hip closest to the back to actually rotate towards the floor so that you can get some power through the hips. You don't need that for the Renegade
No.
rows so much, so we don't recommend you rotating, but if you're doing the push-up lateral drag, you do want that little bitty pop in the hips
A little
when you
hip
drag.
pop.
Yes.
Little hip pop.
That should help out
Hip hop
a ton.
hooray.
Yeah. And actually, I wanted to bring up, I know Jeb's not doing the dumbbell version, but one thing that you guys need to expect from push-up Renegade rows is your hands starting to hurt.
Oh,
It's kind of unavoidable, guys. It's inevitable. It's going to happen because you're applying pressure through your
got this,
palms for so long.
Yeah.
Through the push-up, and then as you row, it's kind of just a given. You could try just opening your palms, stretching out your palms, stretching out your forearms before the workout, but definitely something to expect. And like Jeb mentioned at the beginning, taping your thumbs.
Yeah.
Because those rows, if that dumbbell head starts to rub across that thumb knuckle, it's just going to eat away at that skin.
Such a consistent irritant, and poor Jeb last time was honestly getting really cranky about it.
Yeah.
And for good reason.
Good job, Jeb.
It was just a consistent annoyance from like 7 minutes in, and he still had another solid like 13 minutes to go, and every single time he picked up that darn dumbbell, it would just make it a little bit worse.
No wonder
So-
he was resentful about this one.
Yeah, he was not happy with it, and he
Good
shouldn't.
job, Jeb.
It makes complete sense. So if you're gonna do this one with dumbbells, if you have any tape, go ahead and put some tape. If not, just be really careful with your dumbbell placement or your hand placement on your dumbbells, so that you don't have to then for the next couple weeks walk around with no skin on your thumbs.
That's right. All right, he is starting up his last round. He got 12 last time, but you know, that second to last round is always the worst one.
Truth.
Because you know you still have one left, but
Yeah.
you have all that work behind you, fatiguing you. So
You're trying to hold on to the little bit left that you have in your gas tank, so you're trying to
Yes.
cruise downhill, hoping to save that last bit for the very last push.
yes.
We'll
And
see how it
with 90
goes.
seconds left, I believe in him. I bet, and I know he's gonna work till the last second.
Yeah.
He's really gonna do everything he can to get every rep.
Should we put a bet on how many reps he gets?
No, no, I refuse.
Have you learned your lesson?
I've
on that
learned
one?
my lesson. I have.
Come on,
One thing,
Jeb.
guys, no matter how you slice it, you're going to end up doing 300 or more jumps in this workout.
Math.
Yeah, math. So make sure that you are warming up your lower legs, you're warming up those calves, stretching them before the workout. That should help to ward off some of that soreness, but I think that's another thing you can anticipate is some calf soreness after this workout.
Yeah. Don't forget to warm up the upper legs too, because those are important too.
I mean, who cares about upper
Only
legs?
warm up your calves. Tell your quads they can stay completely asleep this entire time.
All right, Nicole. Funny guy over here.
Hey. All right, here Jebbifer is in his last 20 seconds of this workout.
Come on, Jeb.
Oh,
Jinx.
synchro. Jinx, owe me a bubbly.
Here we go. Last 10 seconds. Let's see if he can get 2 more reps.
Come on, Jeb. Come on, Jeb.
Quick pause. One more.
This is it.
One more.
Keep going, keep going.
Yeah, look at that lockout.
There it
and time.
All right, let's see what he's going to write down on his board for this last round, if he can get the marker.
You're really expecting a lot of
I
them right
know,
now, Nicole.
I know. That's 14.
14.
There
My
it
guess
is.
was going to be 15.
My guess was going to be 14, so you're lucky
Dang,
you
good
didn't
thing
take
we
a
didn't.
guess.
Woof.
You're lucky you didn't take a guess. So, oh man, the math on this is going to be done later because
Sure is.
I can't mind math this currently.
Nah.
But he did. We're gonna go with great. We're gonna go
He
with
did so well.
Great. He did awesome. I think his thumb skin is still intact. So I think that's
That's
pretty
a
much,
win.
That's a win-win all around. We're gonna let Jeb get some water here because oh my goodness, his very aerodynamic pants are now quite sweaty.
Quite sweaty.
Jebbifer did a great job with this different version of it. Remember last time he did dumbbells with dubs and 40-pound dumbbells. This time he did a sandbag with hopovers and a 60-pound bag. Let's see if he has any tips for this workout.
Okay, so I love this version. Love this version. For me, I felt like I got much more of a stimulus when it comes to forward pressing. And then of course, a lot of core action with the lateral drags, core from the back to the front. So compared to the dumbbell version, which for me personally, because I had to break it up so much, and it was just really hard to row towards the back half of that workout. It really just became a struggle to breathe, make sure I'm not holding my breath in order to pull and to press. So if you're doing the dumbbell version, I would say really focus on your breathing and choose a weight that is gonna allow you to feel the muscles working. Like you should have some amount of like burning sensation in the muscles. And sometimes we don't get that if we go too heavy. So back to the sandbag. Yeah, it was great. Much higher reps than last time. I don't know the total, but just cursory glance at the board, I was averaging just about 18 per minute. Obviously started with 24, and then one round I only got like 12. But a quick average of everything, it was like just about 18 reps per minute, which is super solid for me, for where I know I am. So I'm happy with that. Really, really glad that I chose the hopovers because again, like if you're good at double unders, cool, go for it, burn through it. But if you are good at double unders and you want to get just that little extra stimulus, hopovers. My legs were burning. I failed a couple reps on the hopovers. It became much harder, and I could feel my legs when I was trying to brace and hold a good plank position for the push-up and lateral drags. So a really nice complement to those movements. But yeah, I think have fun with this one. Either try to do better than you did last time or try something new. Either way, just know what you're going into the workout with. Know what you want to get out of the workout going into it, adjust accordingly, and take note of what happens. It's all about just learning and taking what you learn into the next one. So enjoy it.